Welcome back to the SA Weekly Talk Show. Mike Callahan here, certified advisor with Service Autopilot. Had a question submitted last week, and I thought it was pretty much SA Weekly Talk Show worthy. And basically, what we wanted to look at here is, I'm just going to make sure that we are live, and actually you can see my screen. Perfect. But basically what this gentleman requested, he's actually using the standard version of Service Autopilot that doesn't include estimating, and he was looking to go to either Pro or Pro Plus with the automations. But given his area in the country, there was different difficulty levels in the lawn mowing that he does. So he was trying to take a look at it. How could he create a standardized production rate based estimating system based on difficulty level, or less production based on fence gates or hills or extra trimming? And I'm going to correlate this as well to the other industry that uses Service Autopilot quite a bit, is the home cleaning industry. So if you're watching this, this is very applicable to lawn mowing as well as home cleaning. So working with some of the top experts in home cleaning here for the last 4 or 5 years, including our favorite certified advisor there, Martha Woodward, in her company, Dusting Divas and QDS. This can also work for home cleaning. So lawn care and home cleaning. Home cleaning, the correlation you're going to want to make with this, and I'll actually use a home cleaning example in this as well if I have time. But if you have a production rate based estimating system for your initial clean, your weekly or biweekly, if you add in different variables based on number of bedrooms, bathrooms, number of people living in the home, pets, things like that, your production rate is going to go down by a percentage based on those variables. So this is going to be very applicable for both industries, how we go out and set up a difficulty level for lawn mowing or home cleaning in this process. So what I've got here as an added bonus, let me pop open the screen here, is I have a free estimate template that you can actually download, and I'll put that in the notes right now. So if you want to click that, I want to say what's up to Tommy G, buddy. What's going on? Probably holding it down at the fire station. So good to see you, brother. I'm going to pop this up here and kind of show you how we tackle this here. So I'm going to go into the SimpleGrowth blueprint, show you how to build out a difficulty level for the mowing or the home cleaning based on a drop of production. And in addition, in the comment notes here, we have a free estimate template from the SimpleGrowth team here. And this is it right here. So I'm going to kind of preview the template real quickly to show you what you got. But the idea here is the estimate creation sheet. I've broken it down. And if you private message me, if you're in the cleaning industry, I have a separate version of this as well for each variance of cleaning and production rates as well. I didn't have time to get a separate link for that for the SA Weekly here. But the idea is we have our 22-inch push mower with trimming and blowing, a 36-inch, a 48-inch, a 60, and a 72. And the idea is we go in and say once we put in some data, we're going to be able to put in the area that we're going to be mow, blow, and edge based on normal conditions, 80% production or 60% production based on each size mower. So we've got a production rate based estimating system in this template to spit out a price. So the first thing you want to do if you download the template and you haven't standardized your estimating inside Service Autopilot, is this is a good way to get your toes wet. But what you're going to do is take the data from this and in the video here, and I'm going to show you how to build this out in SA. So I don't recommend using this Excel sheet or Google sheet forever, but if you're still questioning, like, how can I get this into Service Autopilot to make this work, this is a good step into fully utilizing Service Autopilot for production rate based estimating system based on difficulty level. So really quickly, how this would work if you download this free template is you want to drop in your dollar per hour. So let's say you want to make $55 per hour, and your cost break even, if you know what that's your cost before you make a profit, total break even before your net profit is going to be, say, $36. I just want to make sure that we are indeed, we can see the screen here, but it looks like we are good. So that's positive. All right. So what we're going to do is basically we're putting in the minimum to show up. So let's say my minimum show up, if I'm using a 22-inch push mower, is $50, and that's going to cover up to 3,000 square feet based on my $50 minimum. So anything up to 3,000 square feet is $50. And how many minutes is it going to take to mow, blow, and edge for one person? So let's just say that's a 45-minute ordeal. And then every 1,000 square feet above that, 3,000 square feet, let's just say that is taking us 12 minutes. We've gained some efficiency. So it's not 15 minutes, but it's 12. So what the sheet does here is it actually calculates the production rate based on efficiency here. So once you set up the price and production information tab, you're ready to go. You never need to touch it again until next year. Very similar to what I'm going to show you how to set up in Service Autopilot's pricing matrix. Now, once you have that, we're going to go in, and every time we do an estimate, we would go in and say, well, if I'm at 80% production based on this property having some extra trees, I would put in my, say, 3,200 square feet that I would measure from Maps Pro or Maps Smart Maps in Service Autopilot. And basically, you would go in, and based on our production information that we set up originally here, it is going to automatically calculate a price, a budgeted time, and cost before profit. Now, if I scroll down, there's some additional things you can put in this template. So the average drive time in minutes to this job. So let's say it's 5 minutes on average. How many mowings are in the season? So in my area, that's going to be 28 or 30. Number of installments. So if you want to offer 12-month or 8-month installments, you can. If not, leave it blank. Number of people on the crew. That's a 2-man crew or 2-lady crew. And the number of average years the client stays with you. So let's say on average, our clients stay with us 3.5 years. That's information we can find out once we have good data inside Service Autopilot. Now, the cool thing is here on the bottom of this free template we're giving you to hopefully get you acclimated to production rate-based estimating and then get that inside Service Autopilot is we can go in and take a look at this here. So we've got our price per mowing with drive time calculation of $66.21. Our seasonal price is $18.53. Installments based on 8 installments, if we did it, is $2.31. Our budgeted time for one guy or girl doing that is 0.81 hours. And our budgeted time for our 2-person crew is 0.41. Break even before profit per cut is $26.21. And our projected profit in this fictitious example is $40. So our projected profit for the season is $1,119 is our projected profit. Our profit percentage projected is 60%, and our average lifetime value. So how much revenue is this projected estimate going to get us if they stay with us for the 3.5 years? That's $3,900. So these are all the things that we can pull out of Service Autopilot when the estimate template is set up. But it sounded like we have a few people either in the standard level or even Pro and Pro Plus that haven't completely evolved into a production rate-based estimating system. So I thought that this free estimate template, yours to keep, well over $1,000 that we normally charge for something like this, we're just going to give you to kind of help you get your toes wet with what you can put in Service Autopilot to get the data out without having to set it up all up in Service Autopilot. So you can kind of buy into the idea of a production rate-based estimating system and then go out and build this in SA. So I'm going to show you how to build this in SA now, but in the comments, if you click that link, you're able to download this template here for free. So I want to give you an idea of what that looks like. But this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, because I'm suggesting that we should build kind of what's in that template inside Service Autopilot. So it's always the SA Weekly. We want to show you how to actually demystify the system and put a system and process around how to create a production rate-based estimating system on difficulty level. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is go in and create a service, and we're going to call it lawn mowing. So this is the SimpleGrowth blueprint. If you've seen any of my videos here, this is what we would traditionally do. So I'm going to use the same example here of our $55 an hour and $36 per man hour expense. Obviously, there is no materials here. So that's going to be my master parent service. And now in service number 2, I'm going to put lawn mowing 100%. And that custom field is going to be based off of turf square footage. And time's sake, I'm going to copy this down here. Oh, actually, we'll go from here. So we're going to go from 1 to, let's say 3,000 square feet in the example above. So let's say this is just a 22 or 23 inch push mower commercial. And our base price to show up is $55. Let's call it 50. And our charge per man hour is $50 and $36 break even. And then I'm going to show you how to break this all down in Service Autopilot. So now we've got our base price. Then every 1,000 over our 3,000 square foot is, and I'm going to say equals, I think we said 12 minutes in the original example. So we'll put that in as a basically a part of an hour, so 0.2 man hours. And our price here is going to be $11 per thousand. Obviously, this pricing is fictitious, but I want to go in and kind of show you what this looks like. So now that we have this example here, the blueprint, for time's sake, I'm going to go in and just copy and paste these. But now our second production rate is going to be at 80% efficiency because maybe we have a couple trees or a fence gate or something we need to get around here. So we're going to say equals 3,000 times 0.8 is now that production rate. And actually put that in the wrong cell here. So I'm going to say equals 3,000 times 0.8. So 80% production is going to get us our base price now for 50 bucks at 2,400 square feet. And that is going to give us still the 0.91 here. And once again, that time here is going to be is divided by 2.4 because there's 2.4 parts of 1,000. So that production rate now has gone from 0.2 man hours to 0.38 man hours. So now we're going to go in once again and take this down. And we're going to drive it down in again to a 80 or 60% efficiency. So this can be the same exact thing in your home cleaning business if you're looking at number of people, pets, and areas you're cleaning here. And we'll make this 70 just to mix it up a little bit. But if you download in the comments there the link, you can get a free template here of how to actually do this. So 0.7. And we're going to calculate our 0.91 hours divided by now 2.1 parts of 1,000, which is going to bump it up from 0.38 man hours for that 1,000 to 0.43. So you can see our price per 1,000 has gone from $11 to $20.83 to $23.81 based on 100% efficiency, 80 and 70%. And if you're wondering how to see how this looks and how this works, in the comments of the Facebook Live here, there's a free link to download a template to create this standardized process here before you put it inside the Service Autopilot. So kind of just a baby step in there. But now that we have these services, we need to go into Service Autopilot and build this out. So what we're going to do is go into a gear icon. First thing we always want to do is go in and build a custom field. So if you're looking at SimpleGrowth Blueprint, this is laid out pretty specifically there for you. All right. And I'm going to add a custom field. And I'm going to call this Facebook Live 1 per square footage, just so I can find it. Or actually, put some zeros in front of it. Obviously, you wouldn't, but in this test account, I've got so many custom fields, it's going to be tough to save it. First step is, though, off the blueprint, we need to go in and find our custom field of church square footage. Now, the next thing is we're going out and building our 3 or 4 services. So our first service is lawn mowing, and then we're going to build the 3 subsequent child services in there. So this is how we're creating a production rate-based estimating system based on variables. So the gentleman's question is, I want to use Service Autopilot's estimates, but my area, my business, my service accounts are a little bit different. They're not standard. Well, this is how we standardize the unstandard. So we're going to go into services and grab that right now. And then we're going to go in and add the services. So once this pulls up, we're going to go in and build our parent service, child services, and then we'll put that into an estimate template. So just for naming convention, so I can find them all, I'm going to put a couple zeros in front of it. And for time's sake, I'm going to copy and paste, but we need a code. We need to know if it's taxable. We need a service mode. We need an invoice description. We need an account. And if you're using QuickBooks with classes, you also need a class. Estimate description. This is what would read out on the estimate template. Rate matrix, we do not need anything here. So we're going to hit save and new. So we built our parent service. And now we have our lawn mowing, and the customer is not going to see this, but this is 100%. And that's coming right off our blueprint here. So lawn mowing 100% is based on turf square footage. So we're just copying these top 5 lines into Service Autopilot. So in order to do that, I need to go in and grab my parent service and put use and estimates only. And then we're going into our rate matrices. We're going to grab our calculation. We're going to grab our custom field. And remember, that was the first thing we entered in there, because otherwise we would have to go back and recreate it. And that's where errors happen. So now these top 5 cells are going to be copied right from the SimpleGrowth blueprint. So 3,050 in 0.91 man hours. And it is costing us $32.73 before profit. So we're going to put that in there. Now, every 1,000 square feet over our base price of $3,000 is, based on the SimpleGrowth blueprint, is going to be $11 and 0.2 man hours to do that. And it is going to be $7.20 expense before our net profit that we've projected. So we're going to go in here and pop that in. 7.2. So what we've done now is created a parent service for lawn mowing. We've created one at 100% efficiency. And now based on the blueprint, we're going to go in and build out lawn mowing at 80% efficiency and 70% efficiency. Once again, we got to have that parent service here, and we're going to use estimates only. And we're going to go into the rate matrix. We're going to go quantity rate times visits, and we're going to grab our turf square footage that we've built. That's our first step for success. And then we're going back to our blueprint for to copy this through here. So it's 2,400 square feet is $50. And it is going to take our crew budgeted 0.91 man hours and $32.73 before profit. And then we're going to go every 1,000 square feet over our base price of 2,400. So you'll notice as the production rate drops by 20%, the area that we cover has shrunk by 600 square feet. So we are charging the same $50 a show up, but based on the conditions of the yard and us not being as productive, the area that we cover for the $50 has shrunk. So that's how we're creating this production rate based estimating system for lawn mowing or home cleaning based on number of people, pets, bedrooms, bathrooms. And we're going to go in here now. And if you just join us in the comments of the show, we have a free downloadable template where you can actually start to get your feet wet with this process of no charge. Download it, plug your numbers in, and you've got a tool that will calculate all this for you. So 2083 and 0.38. And our cost before profit per 1,000 square feet is going to be $13.63. So the positive thing is once we get this all together, I'm going to show you how to pull this into a template and standardize it right off Smart Maps or Maps Pro, and have a system that now your office staff or virtual assistant can literally plug and play. And estimates only. And we're going to go into our rate matrix again. Not real exciting, but honestly, this is what it is. Set it up once and forget it and delegate it. And this will liberate you from doing estimates yourself. Or if you want to delegate, if not, if you're doing them yourself, it's going to save massive time and take the emotions out of actual estimating. This is where big bottom line profits are going to be won in 2021, in my opinion, if you haven't done this. So from 1 to 2,100 square feet now is $50. That's our 70% production rate. So we've gone from 3,000 square feet down to 2,100 square feet for our base price based on the difficulty. So 0.91 and $32.73. And you'll notice if you've been watching this from the beginning here that those numbers haven't changed. It's the area that we're covering on the base price that is what's really coming out, $32.73. And any comments or questions, feel free to drop them below. I'm happy to answer them on the live version here or recorded, as long as we have some time. So we're going in right now to our final place here, and this is our 70% production for lawn mowing. Oh, could be home cleaning as well. And that 1,000 square feet over 2,100 is going to be $23.81 in 0.3 man hours. And that cost $15.58. So what we have done now is we've created a parent service of lawn mowing, and we've created, based on the SimpleGrowth blueprint, 3 subsequent child services based on 100% efficiency, 80%, and 70%. Now we're going to go in the service autopilot and pull it all together. Once again, if you're joining us, go click the link in the comments. This is a beautiful stepping stone for you to become comfortable with production rate-based estimating, then come back to this Facebook Live and follow the step-by-step directions I'm doing live here. But this is the process that I used in my 7-figure business in lawn care and snow removal to liberate myself from estimating and utilizing the power of service autopilots, production rate-based estimating, and the pricing matrix. So now we are back inside service autopilot. So we've got our services. We are going to go into the gear icon, and we are going to pull up and create a template. So we're going to go to the job estimate templates. Now, traditionally, this would be all your landscape maintenance, or in your cleaning business, your top to bottom deluxe, your deep cleaning, weekly, bi-weekly, every 3 and 4 week cleaning, move in, move outs, whatever that looks like. But we're going to add that in. The idea is we set it and forget it. It's a time saver. It pulls all of it in. So what we're going to do is label this again. Facebook mowing production. And we're going to show for not jobs and estimates, but for both. And we're going to go in and select an estimate document. So this is a step that you would need to do before you do this. For this conversation, I am not going to show you how to do that. But if you're wondering what's behind this, there's an estimate document. Before an estimate document, there is an estimate email. That is an email that we're going to send with a clickable link inside it for the customer to click, open up the email, and then open the email or the estimate up. So we've got the email, estimate email. There's a clickable link. They open up the estimate document. The customer selects the services they want and signs electronically. And then there's a second email that's called the acceptance email that's tied to the estimate document that automatically goes out to the consumer to let them know we as a business have acknowledged them accepting the estimate, and we'll get that out to them. So that is what's behind this estimate document here. So there's a 3-part process. So what we're going to do is add in our service of our lawn mowing. And now we're going to go into the plus icon. So I remember I said that this was basically hidden from the consumer. So there's our 70%, and I think naming-wise, I didn't pull in the 000 for the 80%. But let's hit apply. We've said include default services. With any luck, that should pull the 70. Well, we've got the 70%, we've got the 100%, and I am missing the 80. So let's grab that in here, see if we can find that. There we go. Lawn mowing 80% and apply. So I've got a couple duplicates here. Let me just pull that out. So 70%, 80%, or 100% efficiency. I've got all 3 of my child services based on production of lawn mowing. So I'm going to go in and hit save now. Now that template is there. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to go into a test client and walk through the external workflow of this setup. So comments, questions, feel free to drop them below. And I will be answering them live for you here as well. So what we're going to be doing is we want to go into either our V2 or V3, either our Smart Maps or Maps Pro, basically the same thing. But what we're going to do is go in, if you haven't enabled Smart Maps, highly recommend it under your billing and settings. And we're going to go in and under the More tab, I'm going to Property Measurements, and we're going to measure the property online. So we're going to use our normal test account that you've seen on most of our setups here. And I'll walk through the process here of what this looks like and how it actually goes. Now, you're going to realize that I've already got this highlighted here. So every time you go in and measure a property, I'm going to recommend you hit save here. And then that pulls up. So you know exactly what you estimated and you can refer to it later. So I'm going to delete this just so you can see the full step here if you're new to Service Autopilot. And if you're not new to Service Autopilot, this will be a good refresher. So we want to go in here and label this. So this is the turf square footage. Now, where this could get interesting here, and I may actually just make this a little bit crazier than it needs to be. So this is turf square footage, and I'm going to say 80%. So I'm going to have a different production rate for each part of the yard. And I'm going to go in and edit this one here, 80%. So maybe I'm using a 36-inch mower in the front, and I'm going to use a 60 in the back. Obviously, the yard this size is probably a little crazy, but it's going to kind of give you the idea of what we're really dialing into here. So now I've defined those areas. So I need to add one more area for my 100% efficiency. So at a big commercial property in HOA, this is probably very, very applicable. So this is, I'm going to call this turf 100%. And I'm going to go in and continue to measure this property for a different production rate based on the backyard and a different machine or condition. So you could maybe have 100% efficiency in the front, and there's a fence, a smaller gate where you got to use a 36 in the back. So that could be a lower production rate. Same thing, we're going to go in and measure that here, or color code that, and hit save. Now you see there's some plus icons. So I don't want to have the 100% screw my 80%. So I'm going to go in and mark that as a 0, not a negative. It's a null value. So I've got in the front, I've got 4120. So what I can do is go in and grab my 80% efficiency. And actually, I am missing a step here. So you would actually have to build well, no, actually you wouldn't. So you would have your, as you can tell here, as I stumble here a little bit, there is multiple ways to skin a cat here. So based in this example, this is exactly how we would do it. We're not measuring different areas based on different custom fields. We've got one custom field that covers it all, but the services break down the production. So we've got the turf square footage. We're going to hit save. Hopefully doing this live, everything came the way it should, but we're going to go in now and add an estimate. So we divided out our different areas versus 100% production and 80% production, probably based on the size of the machine, not necessarily the complexity of the weed whacking or things like that, or hills and trees. So we're going to go in and hit templates here. What that's going to do is load that job estimate template in that we've created, and it will pull in property specific numbers based on the square footage. So we're going to go into templates, and we're going to see if we can pull up. So as I'm thinking about this, as this loads, it did save the 4,100 square feet based on that. So you would, if you're measuring a whole property, would want that production rate saved predominantly for the two areas I've measured. So if that was the case, and this is the entire area of 4,200 for the whole yard, you can have a different production rate based on 70, 80, or 100%. So if you were to go into this example the way I measured it up top, you would want to have two different custom fields to those turf square footages. Or if you're measuring the whole property, we can do it as a percentage. But you can see fictitiously at 100% efficiency, it's $72. At 80, it's $91.66. And it's 70% efficiency, it's $121.43 a cut. And those are the budgeted man hours that it would take for one person, and this is the cost before profit. So with some decimal points rounding up and down, you can see our net profit margin is basically identical. So in this example, what we would do is if we were at 100% efficiency, we would just literally get rid of the 70 and the 80% efficiency. And all the consumer is going to see here is the $72. So if you wanted to create 3 custom fields for the area that you're doing in that production area, you could basically have the example like when I measured it for the front at one production rate and the back at a separate production rate. So there's 2 different ways to go in at that. And I honestly recommend both depending on the way you guys go at that. So basically you would go in now and hit save and go in and email that estimate, and that would be able to go in and click and sign that process. So hopefully that was helpful. If there's any comments or questions, how I did that, creating a production rate based estimating system on levels of efficiency here, 180 and 70%. That's how we do it. We take the blueprint, we transfer that into Service Autopilot. And then once again, in the comments, I put a link if you want this free estimate creation template and sheet. You plug your information in based on the production of each size mower. Up in the yellow cells only, the grays calculate for you. You put your hourly goal, your break even. You set this up for the year. And then on the estimate creation sheet, you just plug in the square footage based on the production level. And the sheet tells you at the bottom how much extra money you need to charge for drive time if you're looking to do that. If it's already figured in your overhead recovery number, just put that as 0. Number of mowings, installments if that applies, guys or girls on the crew, average number of client years, and it spits out all your pricing information. Then once you're comfortable with this, if you're using SA Standard or Pro Plus and you haven't evolved into a production rate based estimating system, this will give you the foundational information to start working on something like this that we use in the SimpleGrowth blueprint, and then roll that right into Service Autopilot. So saving a lot of time, efficiency, and allowing anybody on your team through the mobile or the desktop to go out and estimate by measuring online and creating a production rate based estimating system to sell your gateway services right over the phone with predictability and standardization for estimating and budgeted time for your guys and girls in the field. So let's see if there's any other questions. Want to say what up to Tom Gillespie if he's still hanging out here. Corey says, man, this program is nice, but so many different levels that I don't know how they work. Well, Corey, the good news is here, the SA Weekly Talk Show, we break this down on every Friday where myself and some guests break down how to actually use the software in the real world, in the trenches that we're all living in. So 25 years in the lawn care and snow removal business in upstate New York. Service Autopilot was one of the many keys with automations as well to get me to take my life back from my business. So the beautiful thing about this too is if you don't want to do standardized production rate based estimating, at least the way that most people evolve through the system, including myself. So I'm not on a pedestal here preaching. We have evolved through each part of the program. And now obviously we can do it Facebook Live with very little prep. But the idea is there's 3 types of estimating that can be built in the Service Autopilot. Now, the first one I'm not recommending, but the first one is when we first get into the business, we go out and we base our pricing on market pricing. So whatever we think our competitors charging. Obviously, that is probably not the way to go about it. Second step is guesstimating, I like to call it. You're going out and guessing how long it'll take based on your experience times an hourly rate, and you base your price. So if you think it's going to be 60 minutes to mow the lawn and we're at that $55 an hour, it's $55 for the cut, and that's what we're charging. We're going to budget 1 hour because that's our experience, how long we think that's going to take. Now, the final part of that is going to be basically going out and so we've got our market pricing we don't want to do. We've got our guesstimating, and we're going to do our guesstimating there. Times an hourly rate. And then the final thing is our production rate based estimating system. So that's exactly what we were just diving into based on square footage and then different production rates based on how much weed whacking, different size fence gates, hills, difficulty level. Or in our home cleaning industry, we're looking at bedrooms, bathrooms, number of people, number of pets, how dirty is the house, last time it's been cleaned. These variables can be plugged into a percentage or production rate based estimating system. So all these abilities are here inside Service Autopilot, and we're obviously here to help as a certified advisor as well. If you have any questions, let us know, and I will be happy to make a video right here on the SA Weekly Talk Show or Callahan's Corner that we do daily Service Autopilot questions as well in business workflow. So we'll see you again next week. SA Weekly Talk Show, Mike Callahan right here on the Service Autopilot Facebook page. 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. We'll see you again next week. And with the holidays, we will probably not be live next week, but maybe we will put up a pre-recorded version. So if we don't talk to you, everybody have a safe holiday, and we'll see you again probably in 2 weeks, the SA Weekly Talk Show, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, right here. SimpleGrowth is a certified advisor of Service Autopilot.